Вот уже треть жителей США в возрасте от 18 до 24 лет верят, что Земля плоская, а почти 15% американцев в возрасте за 30 с ними согласны.
Никому не нравится чувство, что мы находимся на маленьком шарике, который несется сквозь Вселенную. Да, закроют программы с астрофизическим и космическим уклоном. Оставшиеся естественные науки, как биология, геология, океанология, археология и другие, должны быть полностью обновлены.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat!
He's an interesting guy, man, and, you know, he believes it, so. Kyrie, the earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, whatever.
The earth is flat, that's news.
That's news. Here we go.
You're tuned into the Truth Frequency.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with the mainstream scientific community. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is waiting for his new aluminum straws to be delivered in case he goes to San Francisco, so he can enjoy his ice-cold Coke in a plastic cup. If you don't know what that's about, look it up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Check it out at enclosedworld.com or just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, well, you're not very good at the internet. For those of you listening to this on YouTube, you want to hear the show live as it happens, please go to Truth Frequency Radio for the latest schedule. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And if it is not July 24th, 2018, you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day from the Peanut Gallery, a little different, goes a little something like this. That person doesn't just have a right to speak. That person's right to speak must be given extra protection, because what he has to say might, in any case, give people reason to think about why do they know what they already think they know. How do I know that I know this? Except that I've always been taught this and never heard anything else? What would you do if you met a Flat Earth Society member? Come to think of it, how can I prove the Earth is round? And that's from Christopher Hitchens. Mark Sargent 2018 Flat Earth Challenge is in effect. This is my personal declaration of war from Flat Earth against mainstream science. I, Mark Sargent, hereby put forth a challenge to any university, foreign or domestic, to loan me a NASA-approved self-contained spacesuit, put me in a vacuum chamber, and pull the switch. Sounds like fun, huh? For more information on this, please check out Flat Earth Clues 13, The Lost Nail. Tonight will be a subject matter expert show. Who have we had on so far? We've had Deep Breath, United States Navy missile instructor, United States Air Force navigator, a Marine Corps sniper instructor, a Navy submarine chief, an Army artillery radar operator, an Australian intelligence officer, an American flight instructor, an industrial engineer specializing in valves and seals, a career surveyor of 32 years, an international shipping expert, a corporate travel agent, an air traffic controller, United States Army master gunner, aviation and ground training combat expert, a USDA surveyor of 27 years, a 32nd degree Mason, an etheric science researcher, a commercial airline captain, a commercial airline co-pilot, an industrial vacuum expert, a merchant marine, United States Army air traffic controller, a Navy navigator, and a Navy electronic warfare technician. And tonight, and I'm not going to introduce him yet because I still got to give out the phone numbers and all that other crap, we are going to be talking to an AutoCAD tech who spent some of his career working on engineering projects, which we'll get into in a second. Phone numbers, we're going to not take calls until probably the third and fourth segment, but who knows? We may take them earlier. I don't know. Phone numbers to call in tonight are 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998 or 720-897-6111. If you're in the UK, don't forget the country code and dial 44203-393-2871. And if you just want to call in and listen, I know it happens every once in a while. Somebody's got to do it. That number is 605-472-9131. There you go. That's what it is. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking to a man named Jack who reached out to me. And he, first of all got my attention because he literally asked for everything I had with all the stuff I was giving out for free. So he asked for my the survival guide, and he asked for the harmony paper between that was mentioned during the air traffic controller and the flight instructor. That was fun. And then the interviews from coast to coast. And now, what's Peanut Gallery saying? I don't know. Virginity. Why would you? Oh, wait. What's he saying? Hang on. Sorry. Peanut Gallery, virginity. Whatever. All right. So I'm sorry. So the paragraph when he wrote, this caught my eye. I'm an AutoCAD tech of civil, stormwater, and wastewater since 2004. I've worked on many designs of large plats of land for subdivision neighborhoods, as well as miles of Department of Transportation highways, most of which was very flat. So I called him up. And he said, "Hey, what are you wearing?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if that's really appropriate." And, it kind of went downhill from there. But before we finished, we got into the whole thing of, why don't you come on the show? Let's talk. So without further ado, my pleasure to introduce Jack. How are you, man?
Hi, Mark. I'm well. How are you doing?
I
don't remember it quite that way, but yeah, something like that.
Hey, look, we were both drinking. Mistakes were made on both sides. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll talk later. So let's do this as required by law. How did you get into Flat Earth? How long you been in? First off, it's kind of like an AA meeting. It's like, right. All right, and how long you been in, and what's been your favorite part of it so far?
Well, the original way that I was introduced to it was I had a friend who was like, "Have you ever?" We talked about a lot of things about government conspiracies and whatnot, but she asked me if I ever heard of Flat Earth, and I says no, but I've often, did not believe in the moon landings, and this is before I realized that there was actually evidence against it. I just thought there was something weird about the whole thing of going to space. But she sat me down and we watched this Flat Earth conspiracy documentary. It was 6 hours long. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty interesting, but I doubt it. And then after a while, it was like, wait a second, this is seeming like it might be possible. And then it was highly probable. And then by the end of it, I was like, damn it, it's flat. So,
wait. So you turned in a day?
Oh, I turned within 6 hours because it was straight. It's just like everybody else. Everybody else, takes. I think everybody does eventually flip over in 6 hours of information, but they don't watch it straight. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you hear the same, like if you look into, like, let's say you're just looking into the moon. Well, you just look into the moon, you look into the moon, you look in the moon, and then you go and look at the curvature test. You look in the curvature test. But if you have all the things laid out in front of you, it doesn't take that long to figure it out, especially if you're in a field. If your mind recoils to your past and say, wait a second, I remember it is flat. Like, it's like second nature to you, but you just don't know it because you're blinded by the ball. So, right. But for me, like, it was a quick flip. And ever since then, I've been a flat earth activist, but I don't do it from a street corner. I talk to everyone I know. And most of them have gone flat.
Really? And you don't have a problem with it? You don't have a problem talking to people?
Oh, no. No, because there was a change for my life since 2012 when I found out some lies about some other belief systems I had. And because of that, I feel that it's an injustice for people to be lied to by bigger groups. Right. And so I've been exposing lies for a long time, and Flat Earth just pushed me, quote unquote, over the edge.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, how, you know what? No, well, okay. I have to ask this because other people are going to ask you eventually. And that is, okay, if you talk about this to just about everybody, do you have a particular tactic that you enjoy more success with? Please, by all means.
I actually have basically a slideshow built into my gallery of my phone. So actually, let me pull up my phone real quick. I just want to go through the pictures. And most probably everybody's seen these pictures, these memes. Mm-hmm. But I just want to go through them real quick.
Yeah.
So, it's in my my folder called True Earth. And the first thing I have is the longest land photography, over 275 miles from Peak de Finestrelis, over elevation 9252 feet, to Peak Gaspard, elevation 12,687, to the peak of which should be more than 3,840 feet below the visible tangent horizon. And people in CAD know what I'm talking about, the tangent horizon, because horizon is not enough. Right. If it's a ball, then it has a tangent. It has a disappearing point to the top of the curve.
Okay.
So from the visible tangent horizon, that drops 3,800 feet below. The next one I have is the Pythagorean.
Yeah.
Yes. Proof of curvature AutoCAD ball, which of course that piqued my interest because I do AutoCAD, and I was like, that works perfectly. Mm-hmm. And then the next one I have 4 observable proofs that the Earth is flat: hot spots, water level, crepuscular rays, and the horizon rising.
Okay.
Then I have the copy and paste, globe, the clouds, the copy and paste, and then I have a flat Earth model, and then I have, come on, NASA, make up your mind, what does the Earth look like, with 8 different blue marbles. Mm-hmm. Then I have the latest Earth from space picture from Russia, where it's like neon orange and yellow and green.
Oh, yeah, where all the color palette is completely screwed up.
Yeah, that smacks people right in the face. I'm like, do you believe you live on that? And they're like, no, that's got to be fake. And I said, they say it's a photograph. And then I show the Chicago skyline, 52 miles away, should have over 1,800 feet of curvature behind the tallest building.
Right.
Then I have my own personal video of Uranus from Savannah. In the very early hours of Savannah, I went down to the beach and I zoomed in on Uranus, and I show this to people, and I said, does that look like a planet like they've been showing you?
Right.
Then I have the small animated that shows the sun and the moon rotating around the flat Earth. Then I show them the 2015 satellites around the Earth. And I say, how do you see stars or the moon or sun or anything? If all these satellites are up there, it's like you're going to run into satellites eventually looking up, but you don't.
Right.
Then I have the actual flight path using a globe Earth map with a flat Earth map. Where do you think we live? Where it shows a straight line of flight from Australia to South America over North America.
Okay.
Then I have the 102.4 mile bridge in China that should have a vertical curve of 6,990 feet. And I tell them, does it look like there's any kind of a hump in it at all? And then I show them the lunar landing module. And if they still believe after the lunar lander module, there's no hope for them, because that thing is just garbage. Because I got it so you can just zoom in on it, and I say, okay, so somebody had made, I think it was Jeranism that mentioned, would you use this as a submarine? Because the vacuum of space has a higher power reverse.
Yeah.
Would you? And I said, would you even drive this down a road as a car using curtain rods and fabric and crumpled up construction paper and tinfoil and duct tape? It's insane to think that we believe this.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's your little slideshow.
Yeah. It's 12 pictures. And by the end of it, every person can no longer just straight up believe the ball. Now they want to look into it. And within a couple of weeks, they come back to me and they say, yeah, I believe you. The Earth's flat.
Wow. That's awesome. So your strategy is to have just a little mini PowerPoint presentation on your phone. 12 slides, which is pretty brief. I gotta hand it to you. I don't think I could do it in 12. And it starts pretty quick and then ends with a great picture of something you can really zoom in on for the moon lander for Apollo 11.
Yeah, and of course, this is something that I say, just type in first lunar module, and the first thing that comes up is the actual NASA page, and you can download the picture yourself. I'm not making this up. And it destroys, any faith in NASA.
Wow. That's great. And that goes along with what people have been telling me now for the last 18 months, 2 years, which is for the average person, you've got to start with the moon landings, especially if they're American. You've got to go out and attack Apollo and say, look, because yes, if they absolutely believe that Apollo is the gospel, then there's not much you can do for them, and I get and the older they are. So if you don't mind me asking a few more follow-up questions along that line, what's the
age
average
dynamics?
Age range that you're hitting? Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that it has had a age range because of the exposure I've had to the age range, right? So I would say that I've been reaching, 16 to 30-year-olds because that's who I was working with at the time. But I have talked to older people who, saw it when they were younger, and they still get it. So I think it's not really the dynamic. It's just getting them to a place where they can trust you as a human being first. Mm-hmm. Look, this is going to sound really crazy, but I want you to look at a couple things and then ask yourself this question, you see? So, and that's how it's been with every facet of my life, looking first into the religious questions that I had, and then into the governmental questions I had, and then into the ever exploding flat Earth, because I wasn't much of a conspiracy theorist until flat Earth. And now I know I went down the deep rabbit hole.
So did you follow the same path that many others do, and that is you got into flat Earth and it opened your head up to all sorts of other conspiracies? Say, okay, I've got a whole nother library I got to revisit.
Absolutely. For me, like I said, the whole NASA thing and going to space, it was always a problem for me growing up because, and it wasn't because anybody told me that NASA never went to the moon. In fact, everybody thought that I was crazy for thinking that NASA did not go. Mm-hmm. But my own philosophy and belief in scripture was thinking about, and this is what I said about the flat Earth clues when I got to you talking about the Tower of Babel.
Right.
Sneakily, of course.
Yeah, without actually mentioning the Tower of Babel. Yeah.
But of course, I knew exactly what you were talking about, because that was my biggest problem with the space thing. Because if the creator had a problem with them just building a building that got too close to the sky, what the hell are we doing up there? And I said, even if we did go up there, I think we're not supposed to be. Exactly. That was my biggest thing. And then when this friend told me that, I'm finding out that the Earth might not be a ball, and I said, yeah, I always believed we never went to space, and my wife was like, oh, here we go again, But now my wife is a flat earther, so I have no problems there. She's my backup. So
so how did she get into it? I mean, what happened?
She was sitting there. She was sitting there. Yeah,
she was.
Yeah, and she used to question it as far as after she was done with the video, she wasn't as sold as I was. But that's to say, like, the same thing of everything that I've researched. Like, if I have enough evidence, I will just drop my previous belief. And she's not that way. She wants more than just evidence. She wants confirmation. She wants reassurance. She wants other people to be there with her. Right. So the more that she found out, like, she used to tell people, like, I don't know for sure if it's a flat Earth, but there's a lot of questions. And eventually she started saying, like, she realized that this lie is actually damaging to people. And that's when she came into it, and she's like, no, the Earth is flat. Don't let them lie to you. This is a control issue. They're trying to hide the creator. I believe that. I think that's the biggest thing that, they want to prove that they're the biggest entity on the Earth, so they hide the biggest entity of the Earth.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, there was no accident when I named one of my clues they are hiding God.
Exactly.
I mean, it's...
and I think that's how I watched the Flat Earth clues. I think I watched the one that said they're hiding God with the biggest line.
Yeah, which again was not my channels. I was pleasantly surprised when I made my stuff creative. It still is Creative Commons license. Anyone can go out there and put it on their own channel and get the nickels for the hits. And some guy put it out there and retitled it. He mashed them all together and said they're hiding God with the greatest lie ever. And it's, I don't know, 2.6 million, something like that, hits right now. I mean, it was weird watching these smaller channels get way more hits. I don't know why the demographics scored that way, but it's like, all right, hey, good for you. Make a few thousand.
I really think it's about the keywords, the keyword search. You know what I'm saying? So for me, yeah, flat Earth and God kind of went together. So that's what I was looking for.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I absolutely do. Just to reiterate, because there was a request that came in from the chat room, we are speaking with Jack. He is a flat earther from South Carolina. In fact, you're even going to be doing the South Carolina meetup.
Yeah, I got sick of waiting for one, so I decided to start one of my own.
Which is what you should have done. I've told many people this. Look, if you want to meet up in your area and there's nobody doing it, just pick a bar or a restaurant or a park or wherever you want to go and tell me all the details, and I'll make up a quick promo. It doesn't take too long because I have templates. Lord knows I've done enough of these things. And I'm happy to do them.
Yeah, that was great, and we got a couple of RSVPs, so they're going to be there, and
nice.
And I got a room that's going to max out at 40. So cool. If enough people don't call me, it doesn't matter because I have a large family and my neighbor has a large family, and everybody in direct vicinity of me is a flat earther. So the neighbor in front of me, the neighbor to the left of me, and the whole household that I'm in are all flat earthers. So we could do a meeting by ourselves.
Yeah, no doubt. I also had a request from the Peanut Gallery that if you have those 12 pictures lying around, you don't have to do it right now during the show, but please email them to me. And I will send them out to people, because if those 12 pics are your effective way of getting through to people, and I might as well ask, do you run into resistance with those 12 pictures where, afterwards the people are going, you show them the 12 and they're like, yeah, I'm not buying it. Did you get any of those?
No, it's never that. The worst I've gotten is, well, I don't know if this is all true. I'm going to look into myself. Yeah. But that's all you need, right? You just need them to look. It's, they see these things as, okay, they could be, if these things are factual, then yeah, we have a problem. But they go and research these things for themselves, and like, okay, the Long Bridge, that's not something that some flat earther built, right? It's not like he invented the bridge to not have a hump. And the thing with the longest photography, that guy's not a flat earther. He was just taking pictures and trying to get famous for it, for long distance. So, I mean, and the NASA thing, I mean, they can go to NASA themselves and see this nonsense that they purport to be true, So most of the time people are mad at me for for showing them, but I'd rather be pissed off and know the truth than to be sleeping and lied to. Honestly,
they're not mad at you for that long, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's one of the only unsatisfying things about flat Earth is when you convert people when they turn into a vampire. they don't thank you for it. They don't apologize. Well, I mean, every once in a while, like I get thanks every once in a while from people that say, "Oh, you changed my life," but they don't apologize if they attacked you. So
that's true. That's true.
I mean, I've seen people literally on YouTube that'll make a YouTube channel and saying, "I hate flat Earth, I hate flat Earth," and on the third video they'll be like, you know what, flat Earth isn't bad. And then they go, but they don't have that point where they go, "Oh man, I'm so sorry to all the flat Earthers I called moron and jackass and retard and all that stuff." It's like they turn, and it's so complete that they forget. It's like they forgot all the bad things.
I don't want to sound too religious, but it's like they're born again. You know,
yes, the religious comparisons are there.
The old ball life is gone. I don't believe in playing with my balls anymore. I just look for the straight truth. Right. So it's not, you know, it's not something that you can, I mean, even in, you know, religious experiences that people have had, usually if they have a major life change, they don't usually go back and apologize to everyone, because everyone was just, they weren't offended with it because it was just who you were at the time.
Right.
So when you have the change, a lot of times people get mad at you for being in the change. Even if you were more of a jerk before, they missed that jerk because they knew that jerk. You know, that's the thing is, you know, like, you know, the biggest skeptic that I was showing these pictures to, he was really upset with me for showing these things. But within, like I said, within a couple of weeks, he was making, you know, flat Earth jokes, you know, talking about spinning balls and talking about curvature and talking about how I also have a P900. I used to take that to work with me and go outside with the people and zoom 239,000 miles into the moon. You know, it blows their mind because they realize that they've been lied to. And yeah, I was pissed at first when I found out lies as well, but eventually I'm glad I know the truth, you know?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's an amazing thing. I remember watching the documentary Behind the Curve, and I was so glad they used and I don't know if you're old enough to remember the Life of Brian movie from Monty Python.
Monty Python's, yeah.
Yeah, where he drops the shoe, where Brian is mistakenly identified as the Christ, and he runs around and people are chasing him, and he drops a shoe and he doesn't go back for it because there's a big mob of people, and they all stop and they look at the shoe, and it is brilliant writing where in about 90 seconds they kind of see how different religions can form from the idea, because everyone's so enthusiastic, they want to reach out in all these different directions, and that is what the flat Earth has done, which is why some people have said that it has these earmarks of a budding religion, where even when I was talking to, and we got 30 seconds of the break, but I got to finish this story, and then we'll come back, which is when National Geographic was talking to me, they were kind of trying to paint me into like a cult corner of it. And I said, look, it's not me. I'm not dressing people up in red robes and moving out to Oregon with a bunch of Rolls Royces. You know, there's a lot of different people. I mean, there's people, I made the Dummies Guide to Flat Earth, but people have gone into amazing directions I would have never thought of. So it's been a lot of fun. All right. Anyway, when we come back from break, we will continue talking with Jack, AutoCAD drafter and flat earther from South Carolina. And maybe after this next section, we will take some calls. So everybody that's on the phone right now, stay there, and we'll be back soon, okay?
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 4. It is a subject matter expert night. We're talking to AutoCAD technician Jack from South Carolina. Jack, you still there?
Hold on, let me check. Yeah, I'm still here. Yep.
It's good. Seriously, you should take that on the road. That's some good stuff. Hey, I didn't even bother asking you because I assume most of the time not. Do we want to say your last name or?
No, I'd rather not, and it's
Okay.
not because of trying to stay safe or anything. It's just my name with my last name is commonly a joke, so I just leave it out.
Got it. All right.
Use your imagination. It's probably that.
I will not. I will not give you a fake name. I will not give you an adult film name. I will just call you Jack.
Just Jack. Yep.
Perfect. Just Jack. I'm sure you've heard. Oh my God, the Will and Grace line. That's awesome. Yep. Just Jack. 2000.
I don't approve. I just remember it. Yeah.
No. I hear you. No. I was a fan. No, look, good writing is good writing, and I thought the characters were very well done. Enough that when they were deciding to do encore presentations of television shows over the last year, it's like, really, you're going to bring back Will and Grace? That's when you know that entertainment, by the way, has jumped the shark.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you want to do sequels to movies until the characters get old and die. That's fine. But television shows, once they're canceled, they're canceled. That's
right.
it. Especially
they cannot be revived. Yeah.
They don't get revived, right? That's it. You don't bring back television shows just because you have nothing left to do. When I saw Will and Grace, it's like, really, and Roseanne, and when I heard
that was awful.
It's like Murphy Brown. It's like we talking about two of those characters have already died of natural causes.
Yeah.
Candace
it's
Bergen.
Like when you were talking about the X-Files one, I'm like, there's no way they can bring back X-Files.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Bring back the X-Files. And at this point, I'm not kidding you. Not that he'd ever want to do it, but I guarantee you that Seinfeld's probably been approached.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the few guys left before the ratings even started flagging. He was like, yep, #1 show on television. Good night, everybody. That's it.
Right. I'll take it and go.
Yeah, and but I half think that there's producers all over the place. It's like, come on, man, what do you got to lose? And it's like, oh, I don't know. How about my legacy? But whatever. So let's get into this real quick. Hang on, Peanut Gallery. He's pretty quiet tonight. Let's see. Magnum PI is coming back. Knight Rider, Hawaii 5-0.
Oh, no.
Well, Hawaii 5-0, I understood. Knight Rider, that's easy. You just grab somebody else. Magnum PI, who's that coming? Who's that coming back with? What, Dynasty? Is that true? Dynasty's coming back? You could do that with a new cast because no one would even remember the old cast. That's an 80s show.
Yeah, it's like everything people in Dallas or something.
Yeah, bring back Dallas.
Yeah.
And Dallas did. Yeah, all right, fine. Enough of that. And why do people keep asking? Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, we're talking with Jack, flat earther and AutoCAD technician who's worked. We might as well get into this because we haven't. Yeah. We spent the first just kind of talking about the intro and how you're converting people, which is great. So you've been doing engineering projects in civil, stormwater, wastewater for the last, well, you were for a while anyway, since 2004.
Yeah, I'm still in it. I'm just in between.
Perfect. And some little bit of DOT, which means you're doing a lot of computer work, a lot of graphics, and a lot of basically coming up with the blueprints for the engineers. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, most of my work was in Southwest Florida, and anybody who's been down that way, south of Tampa, Florida, it's flat. I mean, it's beyond flat because we have to. I mean, this is the main thing that I was bringing up. Like when I, started thinking back of all the time that we have to adjust for the 100-year flood plan and for stormwater protection prevention plan. Right. And we have to do drainage basins where we'd have to put acres of land. All the water has to go to a specific area, and you can't have the flow going too fast. And I mean, you got stormwater retention ponds and everything that you look at. We have to do what's called planar profiles, which is basically cut in a slice down the earth and looking how things are going to go up and down, etc. Mm-hmm. And of course, there was never any curve. And, come to think of it, if that curve even existed, we wouldn't have to direct any rainwater because would all just fall away from the hump, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that for me is like, it's a thing that I took for granted, but I see everything in AutoCAD because I've been doing it for so long. So like if I'm driving down a road and I see a puddle in the middle of the road, I see exactly why, because they should have done a reverse crown here instead of a crown road. And it's like, most people are like, what are you talking about?
So you sort of, I have to do it because I'm a movie guy. So, and I'm sure you thought of it before. So you kind of see things in like Neo vision.
Yeah, it's kind of like I still see AutoCAD like basically everywhere. I see slopes and I see drops and, and that's the thing is like I should see the curve. You understand what I'm saying? Like even the slow slopes, less than 1 inch per 1 foot, you can still see it because you can see the way that water reacts on it and even the way that light cascades down a slope, in reality. And that shows you, like, if there was any kind of a curve, and again, living in the Southwest Florida, we watched sunset after sunset after sunset, and, that was definitely flat. And it's like, I heard somebody say the other day, and it makes perfect sense, like, you see the whole boat going over the curve thing, but you're never thinking about the right to left curve. I mean, you see for miles and miles and miles right to left, and you should obviously see a hump there.
Yeah, absolutely. So in your opinion, let's do the short version for the people out there that have a short attention span, which is, in your opinion, working with all these engineering projects with AutoCAD, have you ever seen it has even come close to be using the curvature formula in your calculations?
Absolutely not, and it was never even mentioned. I mean, it just never came up. And when I say that I did like large acreage for developments, I'm talking like 200-acre properties. So I mean, that's a large plat of land to not have some kind of hump in the middle, and it's like you were talking about, with the surveyor, you have these property corners, and you can't move these property corners. Like you can go to jail for doing it. And sometimes it's a pain in the butt because you got to bushwhack and you got to dig a hole and find the metal rod. And the thing is that, like you said, you got these cookie cutter squares, and if they were all cookie cutter squares, they wouldn't connect together. You'd have all these missing slices if it was a ball. And because I mean, we have to, when we have a how can I explain this? It's called a property line connection variance. Like you have to draw a boundary around the property you're working on. And it's based on bearings and distances. So after you draw this property line, if it doesn't connect together at the end, and it's more than, let's say, a quarter of a foot, if it's even more than 2 inches, there sometimes is a flag like, okay, where is this 2 inches supposed to go? Because some people are very meticulous about their property corners. They want every inch they can get. So, yeah, I mean, I've done lots of small jobs, large jobs, but always you have to have that closing boundary line, and it would not work on a ball.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The surveyors that I spoke with, and most people can't visualize it right away, but that is, if you're working on a giant square project, and remember, there's two types of surveyors. 95% of them are planar surveyors, PLANAR, and the others are geodetic, which they work on big stuff like national parks and stuff like that.
Yeah, they fake stuff, right?
Yeah, they fake stuff. The other guys, everything in the civilized world is under planar surveyors, and literally it is as it sounds, which is they treat the world and all their projects like it's absolutely tabletop flat. And he was saying that it's think of it like a big cracker, like but your cracker, your square cracker, lines up with everybody to the north and south and east and west and northwest and southeast, and they have to all line up next to each other. And he goes, wouldn't you think that eventually somebody would make a mistake and your project wouldn't butt up perfectly against another project? Somebody would leave out the curvature formula and they would make that mistake. He goes, it's statistically so unlikely, it's mind-boggling. And it never ever happens. He goes, not only has it never happened, it's never talked about. And the surveyors, are, as you know, are a pretty loose bunch. You know, they drink and they go out and they talk about a lot of stuff. And all the rookies do the same thing. You know, they say, hey, what about the curvature of the Earth? And they're told in the first week, they say, you know what? Don't worry about it.
Right.
And that's it.
The other thing that flagged me, like, we used a lot of aerial photography because you also got to show where the property is going to be. So you would have to scale it down to not just see the property you're working on, but how they're going to access the property from, you know, other highways and stuff. So sometimes you'd pull back, you know, a couple of miles even to show like a general area, and then you'd zoom into a smaller area and then a smaller area, you know, to show like where it's located. And the thing that I was finding, like, if you went to the local, like the local municipality and you download their aerial photography, and you can like overlay them with no jostle. I don't know how to explain it really. Like if you line up this tree with this tree, then all the other trees are matched exactly like they're supposed to be. But some of the bigger jobs, they told us to use the business version of Google Earth. And when you do that, you zoom in, like, you know, if you're doing like a really close aerial, if you zoom in and you do it's basically like a screenshot, you know, but it's whatever's being shown on your Google screen. And then you pull your mouse over, and then you do another screenshot and another one. And I had to stitch together a bunch of pictures, and the aerial photographies from the municipalities always matched up, and the ones from Google Earth never matched up. Like it was always you know, you could line up 2 trees and all the rest of the trees were skewed, you know, and it doesn't make sense. Like, it's hard to explain.
No. I can clarify. I can clear this for you because I think our listeners want to know. So what you're saying is when you did the overlays, when you were laying the projects flat on the ground, we'll just simplify it for this.
Right.
That when you used aerial photography, because it was flat and it was shot legitimately and nothing was altered, it wasn't bent in Photoshop or whatever you're using, it lined up perfectly. But and I'm really surprised they actually said in some of your projects, oh yeah, by the way, just use Google Earth to eyeball it. And when you use Google Earth, because it was distorted, it never worked.
Right. And the thing is that when you look at the images from Google Earth, it is the same aerial photography from the municipalities. Like it's the same car driving down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're using those aerial photographies and they're wrapping them around that ball. Yeah. And it doesn't fit. So they stretch it out and they skew it. And I don't know if you've mentioned it on your show before, but the guy who found out, like, if you do a 360 on the ball, you never come back to the same continent. You're like, you have to turn it like 3.5 times before you get back to the same continent.
Yeah, it is one of those really, it's one of those things that's assumed, and people assume that Google Earth, all the images are taken from satellites, and they're not. They're aerial shots from planes. Again, Google has a lot of money, but they're not going to burn a lot of money on tech that they either can't use or don't need, which is why all you have to do is put like the Google cars, you know, the cars that drive around with those stupid cameras on top. Put the freaking cameras on the commercial airliners, and you got this thing done in less than a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
but you still got to bend it over a globe.
Right. I remember when I first moved to Florida, you know, my property wasn't developed yet, and I kept waiting for it to show up on their map, and you know, because GPS, you know, goes off of when Google Earth updates, and I didn't realize this until I moved into a house that didn't exist in Google Earth. And you know, I had a regular GPS. I think it was a TomTom. I think it was. But whenever I would leave my house to go anywhere, it's basically saying, well, you're off the road in the middle of the woods. You got to drive out somehow. And you know, it actually was telling me that. Like, so as soon as it popped up on Google Earth, bam, TomTom was updated with the update with the new roads. And the thing that gets me is, you know, if I was running the program, which I'm not, but if I was running the program, every time that a road was updated by a municipality, if I was Google, I would buy, you know, every week an update, you know?
Right.
because that's all they're doing. They're just updating it with the local municipality information. They're not taking any pictures from space.
No.
And because of the skew of the ball, for me, like, again, this is something that I had to look back and see, oh my gosh, this makes perfect sense of why it never worked.
Right.
And it was because of that stretch skew around the ball.
Yeah. For people that are having a hard time visualizing it, it's like if you take all the projects, if each project was a little cracker, and we'll say a wheat thin because I like wheat thins, and try to cover a basketball with it. Try to cover a basketball with Elmer's glue and wheat thins. What'll happen is you'll be able to get most of it, but you'll have these gaps because it's a square, rigid piece, and you have to bend it over the ball, and you can't do that. And which is why in graphics, of course, in graphics we can do anything we want. So you just take whatever graphics program and you bend that square, but when you do that, you are altering it slightly, and it will affect projects like yours. That is basically just an extension. You're working on the flat projects, which are surveyed by planar surveyors,
right,
who treat it like it's perfectly flat. Why do you think, people out there listening, why do you think they call them planar surveyors? Literally a flat plane. Their project is absolutely flat because the world is perfectly flat. You just are so small you don't notice it, and it's more distraction than anything else. We're too busy doing other things. It's kind of like the pilots. If you don't mind me going on a quick tangent, when I talk to pilots, they all say the same thing, which is like, look, most pilots, it's probably in the back of their mind. It's like, oh wow, in front of the cockpit and everywhere around, we only see this flat horizon, but they're too busy to really address it mentally. With pilots, it's like, okay, look, we take off from point A and land at point B and nobody dies. That's a good day. That's the whole point of flying people through the air at unbelievable speeds that would have been incomprehensible a couple hundred years ago. And, a lot of instrumentation, a lot of things going on. But in the back of their minds, they all know this, which is why there's a lot of pilots out there. But they can't tell anybody because would you get on a plane with a flat earther as a pilot? The average person, not right now, maybe in the future. We won't even get on planes that don't have pilots. That's the weird thing,
right?
We won't even do that,
even though a machine is flying the plane most of the time anyway.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of scary, but
yes, Skynet, even though it's not sentient, Skynet's a real thing. I mean, planes can take off and land anytime they want. I mean, what do you think drone pilots do? In fact, we could remote pilot the planes. You want to save pilots, you could remote pilot the plane just as well as you could having a guy sitting in the chair. But people like to have, which is still hypocritical because you don't have a pilot on a roller coaster.
Right.
A roller coaster doesn't crash. So,
that's true. Yeah, I think it's more like, okay, so if this guy's willing to put his life on the line in this giant hunk of metal flying through the air, then I guess we can too. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you got a guy who voluntarily does this on a regular basis, then I guess it's all right to fly.
Right. Plus, we have that movie mentality with a lot of things. Media influences us so much where you think if something goes wrong with the machine, right? Let's say the autopilot has a problem. You always feel better having a guy there to get sweat on his brow and pull on the stick real hard and say, I think we can pull out of this, whatever, and talk to people. They also like that reassuring voice over the speakers.
Yeah, we're flying about 30,000 feet over Florida.
And to your left, the Grand Canyon. Exactly. And stuff like that. It's like, we're going to be hitting some minor turbulence, whatever, all that other crap, and sometimes they yell at you. Please make sure you have your seatbelts fastened. Nobody should be getting up and, listen to your stewardess. Do they even call them stewardesses? Crap. I don't even know if I can use that word anymore.
Flight attendant. Yeah.
Whatever. Hashtag all flight attendants matter. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not PC, so you're not going to offend me. But
nice.
I'm gonna go off a tangent here because I know you like movie quotes.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to throw this out there before I forgot it, but the movie quote is harump, 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 harump.
Oh crap! That's Blazing Saddles.
It is very good.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe you got that.
No. Well, that one was easier for me because Blazing Saddles was a. In fact, that was when they were talking to the governor The
Right.
governor was trying to. He's basically political noises.
Right.
That was it. Can I get a harumph?
Harumph,
Harumph.
That guy
You know,
didn't harumph. Make him harumph.
Exactly. My favorite. In fact, I used, and you didn't know this because I've had so many videos out there where I used I actually used a clip at one of the beginning of the Strange World episodes where he was using the paddle ball and he couldn't use it.
Oh, right.
And he was going, "This damn thing's defective." And Harvey Keitel, it wasn't Harvey Keitel, it was Harvey. Oh crap, the co-star from Carol Burnett show. That guy. He was the governor's assistant. He's going, right as always, sir. He's actually doing it,
And he's doing it right.
really well. I'm just going, wow, that's impressive.
The only reason I brought this up is because I watched it last night and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to ask Mark if he knows harumph.
Oh yeah, I know. No, Blazing Saddles was one of the few '70s movies that I really, really enjoyed. That stood the test of time. It's a classic. Classic comedy that never seems to age, and I love it. It was great. Anyway, in fact, there's lines from it now that you can't even get away with. There's lines I'd love to recite from it, which you can't now because it's just not PC anymore.
Right.
Because in the '70s you could get away with some great stuff. Anyway, what else? Let's talk a little bit more about the AutoCAD stuff, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll take calls. I swear, guys, we will take calls on the top of the third section, and we do have people I see in Minnesota, Dallas, UK. Wow, UK is actually hanging in tough. They're actually on hold. Naples, Florida, Texas, another Texas, Ohio, and another Minnesota. So all you guys that are out there right now, I promise we will grab you in 7 minutes. And Peanut Gallery is happy that the UK called because we have this UK number that you can dial in, and hardly anyone does it because it's so late over there. It's 10 o'clock. It's 8, 9, 10. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast right now. So what is it over in the UK? Pretty late. So let's do a quick. Let's
4
do a
hours
quick
more.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But thank you guys. Anyone that's listening over in the UK. Hopefully it's not a troll. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, says Peanut Gallery. What would I do without him? And yes, Peanut Gallery is a real person. He is not one of my many personalities. I just want to let people know. No, I have actually gotten people, they've said, no, Peanut Gallery's not he's actually a real person. And if he wasn't, I would be really, really scared because...
Speaking of Peanut Gallery, tell Peanut Gallery I want his t-shirt site back up.
Why? What's wrong with his t-shirt site down?
I tried to get there and there was no site there, so
the Flat Earth Army link that I put in all my
Yeah.
Peanut Gallery. Oh my. What's happening?
I was very sad.
Oh, great.
That's great.
All right. So let's do a quick summary
AutoCAD.
Of AutoCAD. And yes, he is. In fact, the Peanut Gallery is now contacting the T-shirt people, which I'm pretty sure it's slave labor working out of Malaysia, and it's going to be early in the morning over there. But we'll crank the screws. Okay. So, quick summary on AutoCAD, and that is. We are speaking with, because I know hopefully people aren't still asking, we are speaking with Jack. He is a flat earther and an AutoCAD technician out of South Carolina. He's worked on a lot of engineering projects, wastewater, Department of Transportation. What are the other things?
And civil. Civil is like land development, so
stormwater, big tracks. We're not talking about the small stuff. And what he's saying is he's worked on a lot of these things since 2004, and there is no curvature to be found anywhere, which goes along with... Point. Go ahead.
Yeah, one more point I was going to point out is that if I tried to put the curvature formula into my drawings, I wouldn't still have a job. I really believe that because it just wouldn't work. It would actually mess things up if you tried to put a curvature calculation into the drainage basins.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And this goes hand in hand with what we've been seeing the entire time. We've had engineers. Starting from the beginning, from the surveyors that survey the land, planar surveyors, and they say it's absolutely flat, to the engineers who have said, yeah, we've done big projects and we're absolutely flat. And these engineers are sending projects off to you to blueprint them and spec them out. And you're saying the same thing. It's absolutely flat.
It's flat.
Who else do you need? I mean, for God's sakes, how many people do I have to get on here before the scientific community says, "Oh yeah, maybe we should address this"?
You need an astrophysicist on here. That's what you need.
Boy, yeah, that'll be tough. And let me go to break with this. The astrophysicist that I was supposed to debate, and it was going to be this year. There was a German television team. Some people have already heard this. German television team contacted me and said, "We've got a guy in Georgetown University." I'm going, "Yeah, let's do it." And they said, "Okay, we're going to do it real civil. You're going to record 5 questions on video. We will send him your tape. He will watch you, and then he will do responses. That way, your guys aren't talking over each other because physicists." And I sent him 5 simple questions: long distance photography, the Van Allen radiation belts, the eclipse, shadow, the temperature of the moon, and the vacuum of space. And the guy folded like a card table. So there you go. All right, we're going to go to break, and all you guys that are on hold, we will answer in the order they were received, and you guys can talk to Jack or me. I don't really care. Either one. We'll be right back.
Radio is your number. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Major Kong. Major Kong. Primary target the ICBM complex at Laputa. Switch all receiver circuits to CRM discriminators. What's cooking on the fretboard? Nothing. Alright, tell you what you're gonna do, old buddy. You're gonna give Elmo and Charlie a flash and bump everything up to condition ready to stand by the core on your back. Major Kong. Major Kong. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Clear and plain and coming through fine.
Yeah. What about
It's great to be fine.
Yeah. What about Major What's happened? You see the string in my neck, Scary. What about Major I never told you. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. It is subject matter expert night, and we're talking with AutoCAD technician Jack from South Carolina. Are you still there, Jack?
Yes.
You always sound somewhat surprised. On a side note, tomorrow, normally I would be on Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes with lovely Patricia Steer. However, she has poison dart training at the agency, and that is going to be kind of an all-day thing for her because you have short distance and long distance. Short distance, that's easy. That's just hitting somebody on a dance floor. That's a piece of cake. Long distance, though, man, you're off by even a little bit. Next thing you know, a waiter goes down, and he's not waking up. So
Coriolis effect.
Coriolis effect. Yeah, long distance with poison darts. You gotta count for the spin of the earth. So anyway, I will not be doing Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes with Patricia Steer tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be on next week. And the other announcement I've got to make is don't forget the 2 things. The Pasadena meetup, which I will be attending with the lovely Patricia Steer, and DITRH is going to be the August 3rd. We're flying down for that. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. So check it out. If you can look it up online, just type in Flat Earth Meetup Pasadena. You'll see it. There's a couple trailers for it. And also the Canadian conference. And so I'm going to that, and then I'm coming back and turning it around immediately and heading off to Edmonton, Canada for the Flat Earth Conference in Canada. They're first. I'm going to be doing the opening presentation and a Q&A, and there's all sorts of people. You can check out all the details at fe2018.com. /Canada. So there you go. So, you know what, Jack, let's do this. The phone lines have been open. It's not like normally we'd say, oh, let's open the phone lines. No, the phone lines are open because it's not like the old days. So let's just pick up a few calls. What do you think?
I'm good with that.
All right. We're going to go from the people that have started from the beginning. So, for example, this one in Minnesota, they've been literally on hold for an hour. So
Wow.
Well, yeah, I know. I can actually. I feel bad because there's this thing called duration. You know how long they've been on hold, and I call it my guilt meter because they've been on hold that long. I was like, oh man. All right.
Come on, Minnesota.
Yeah, up there near the Iron Range. Yeah. So let's go to Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota, you're on with Strange World right now. Sorry for putting you on hold. What do you got? Oh wow, really? First one, you're gonna do that sort of rookie move? You're gonna be muted? Don't make me say it. 651 area code. Are you there? All right, I'm
muted, eh?
Oh yeah, like don't
leave it muted.
He's like packing his black powder rifle and stuff, sharpening his skates. Okay. Oh, and UK shuts off just now. I was gonna pick up UK third. All right, fine. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna kick him off. I'm going to put Minnesota back on hold because who knows? Maybe they went to the bathroom. Maybe they were on hold so long they fell asleep. I don't know. We'll pick up Dallas, Texas, 214 area code. Are you going to be the first call of the night, or is your mic going to be muted? Don't be nervous if it's your first time.
It is not my first time. This is Scott in Dallas. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing well.
Great. Hey, I had that channel, Snafu Radio, that got banned and stuff. Well, so Real.video's up, so I got my channel up back on there. So I'm posting some videos. In fact, I posted one of my first couple of videos that I was able to post was the interview I did with you on 7/16/2015.
Wow.
I contacted you. Yeah, it was there. That's a trip, isn't it? When you start rattling dates off now.
Yeah.
That's a million years in flat Earth.
That's a long time in flat Earth years.
Yeah. And, you talking about age ranges, too, both of y'all. It's kind of funny because I have a son. He's 19. And basically everybody like 19 and up, if they don't just outright believe in it, they're easily acceptable to it. And so a lot of people that I know in that range, which really what I kind of find funny about it is still younger people that are, like 10, 12, 14, a lot of them are still, oh, you're crazy. That's not what my teacher says. They're really heavily indoctrinated at the school.
Right, they're still stuck in school. That's right.
Yeah, and that's, I keep telling them every day, your public brainwashing is serving you well, I mean, just look around. So, and just keep pointing out the obvious facts to them and everything like that. What I wanted to mention is, we did another video. I did another interview back with you on 2017, 12/9/2017, but it's in an MP3 format, and I need it in the MP4 format, and I was wondering if I could get a copy of that from you if you have it in that format.
You need it in MP4?
MP4 is what Real.video wants it uploaded in. And
all right. I can grab it for you. Sure. Do this for me. Send me an email. Tell me exactly if you remember the interview number, because it helps if I know the number. Like if it's in 2017, it would probably be in the late 100s. Like 110, 120, something like that. So just send me an email saying, hey, can I get that interview in MP4? Yeah, I can. I've actually got a Swiss Army knife for this machine that can convert anything to anything. So just let me know, and I'll turn it into an MP4 for you. Sure, why not?
Okay, great. And then I was wanting to see about getting a flatter meetup here, and I actually live in Garland, Texas.
Okay.
So I would like to go ahead and just put it out there, and just I can give out my email address. snafuradio@gmail. Yeah, snafuradio@gmail. Anybody in Dallas, in the Dallas, basically DFW area, Metroplex, whatever you want to call it. But, I live in Garland, so I'm not driving all the way to Fort Worth, I'll tell you that much. So that's a haul. But, anyhow, if we can, maybe get some people interested around here, because that's just a matter of just getting a lot of people together. And then I'll kind of wrap it up with this. I've been listening to a guy called the Dark Journalist. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I have not.
But he poo-poos the flat Earth theory, but he goes into a lot of the stenography and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is really interesting about some of this is he got to talking about, because he's going into a lot of the history, and then he brought up Admiral Byrd. And that kind of perked my ears up, because then he started talking about the Arctic, and he thinks, that there's like aliens down there that kind of ran him off. But he started naming off some of the operations like High Jump and all this other stuff, and Admiral Byrd. There was a lot of questions about Byrd because he was the youngest admiral. And according to, I can't remember who was talking about, but it was really weird how he got launched to that position at such an early age. There was like, he's a Mason, so that kind of got thrown around. But here's what gets really weird.
What?
Okay, Admiral Byrd had a brother, and he was like the captain of the Civil Air Patrol, and he also happened to own a book depository building in Dallas.
Wow!
And guess who was one of his major recruits? Lee Harvey Oswald.
Wow.
Well, now this guy, he's talking about some really deep stuff. Here's where it gets even weirder.
Yeah.
So now he was talking about Tesla. We all know Tesla had his room raided when he died by the FBI.
Right.
Well, they came in there and got his stuff, but who read all the documents so that they could figure out what he was really doing? His name was Professor John Trump, Donald Trump's uncle. Wow. He just happened to be a protege for, I forgot his first name, but his last name, Vannevar Bush.
Huh.
He was the protege of Vannevar Bush, and Vannevar Bush was the one who was the major, science head, smartest dude advising all the presidents on everything, and was basically the head of all the secret societies and everything like that. Well,
wow.
Nixon, knew about all this supposedly space. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I hate to do this to you, man, but we're really backed up on calls. So
okay, I just was going to wrap it up with Trump had a letter from Nixon that if he ran for president, he would be elected president. And so that's about it. So that's all I got, man. But
all right, man.
It was really crazy. I thought everybody would like to hear that. So that's all I got, man. I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Have a good one. We'll talk soon, okay?
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's jump right over to who the heck was I just talking to? I was talking to Florida. Did I talk to you already?
No, I would remember.
No, we didn't talk yet.
Okay, perfect. What's going on, Florida?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
All right.
Good. South Florida in the house. I hear you from Tampa, not too far from Naples.
Well, actually, I'm from Sarasota, which is still probably about an hour south of Tampa.
Oh, a little closer.
And I've lived as south as Fort
okay.
Myers, so that was even closer to you.
Yeah. Just 15 minutes away. Cool. Yep. Awesome. So I'm not exactly sure if this works in AutoCAD, and I don't know if the Flat Earth community touched on this, but the shadow of the moon during the solar eclipse, it's like 70 miles wide, right?
Yep, I was in
shadow.
it. Yep.
Okay, so if it's 70 miles wide and the moon is like 4 times smaller than the Earth, so right. When that's reversed and the Earth shadow is on the moon, shouldn't we be able to see that, or shouldn't that be like 4 times bigger than 70 miles, or how would that work out?
Well, hey, are you stealing my material? Because that's
true, yeah.
Well, that is one of the 5 questions that I threw at that Georgetown physicist.
Gotta go.
No, it's okay. That's all right. My lawyers will be in contact. It was the Georgetown physicist. One of the 5 questions was exactly your question, which was, the moon is supposedly 2,000 miles wide, but it only casts a 70-mile blackout shadow. And they're saying, well, because the shadow is condensed, it's get this convex, lensing effect. It's like, really? Because then it should happen for the Earth too, right? So if the Earth is 8,000. The Earth is 8,000 miles wide, then that shadow, that blackout zone, should be 250 miles wide. We should see some sort of solid black zone in the middle of like that red blood moon on the moon. At some point, it's going to happen, and yet we don't see it. In fact, the moon during a blood moon, it sometimes should look like a giant eyeball because it'll have that black center and it'll be kind of red. In fact, it'd be a really spooky freaking blood moon, and we never ever see it. So why not? And
as far as AutoCAD goes, like if you try to render that, it would be impossible because you can't get a reverse shadow. You can't get a shadow that shrinks. Right. There is no option for that in AutoCAD.
Exactly.
So you would never get that umbra nonsense. It just doesn't happen.
Right. So
I mean, just for the simple fact that it's nighttime and the night sky is a complete shadow. I mean, I don't get it. Why don't we see, if the sun is on the other side of the Earth, we see the shadow move across the sky or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the way, they say it's all designed. But I just wanted to bring that up. But
no, it's good. No, it's good. And again, you and I are absolutely on the same page there because that's a good enough question that it can be brought up to any scientist and they should have trouble with it.
Right.
They love the math, so make that work.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it and enjoying the show.
All right, thank you, man. I'll put you back on mute.
Awesome.
All right, so let's jump over to who are we jumping over to? Let's go to. Did I already pick up? And let's try Ohio first. Ohio 419 area code. Are you there? You're on with Strange World right now.
Hey, what's going on, Mark? It's Marty from Toledo.
Hey, are you? What are you doing?
I'm listening to the show, man. I'm a faithful listener. That's what I'm always doing.
Are you?
But I am at work, and I just want to say, hey, it's a good show. I'm interested in this AutoCAD, so yeah, I am kind of just listening.
All right,
right. Hey,
cool.
Great show, though. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. All right, I will put you on mute, and you can get back to welding or whatever the heck you're doing.
All right, take care.
All right. He actually welds while he's listening to the show, and so every once in a while I'll pick him up, and it'll be like that. Yeah, it's pretty intense. All right, so let's jump over to 507 area code. 507, you're on with Strange World, just you, me, and probably a lot of people you know, so don't be nervous.
Hey there, Mark. My name's Jacob. Probably don't know me, but you probably know my dad, Wesley States from Flat Earth News. yeah, he said I'd get a reaction. But anyway, you told me about how you used to do a lot of work in the gaming industry.
Yeah. I was about as deep as you could get in the gaming industry back in the day.
Did you just do mostly testing, or did you play around with any programming and design?
I recruited programmers. So what I did was I was a tester, I was a ringer, and I was a producer on top of it. I hired the developers, the audio guys, the graphic guys, you name it. I was basically a talent scout for the company I was working for. But no, because back then, programming was no cakewalk. Back then, it was, you were programming in C and C# and C++, and it was not for the faint of heart. The developers that I knew I respected the hell out of them.
Oh yeah, I'd actually picked up a programming class in college that I hadn't read the fine lines very quickly. I didn't have the previous requirements for the class, and we immediately jumped into C++. We've never seen it before. I was oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's like learning a whole nother language. I mean, literally like learning a foreign language.
Yeah,
it's but with a keyboard, and it's because all the characters. Yeah, it is, again, programming is not for everybody, and I dabbled in it later when I built the first version of enclosedworld.com, but it is not easy.
Oh wow! Did you ever work with any of the today at least, kind of the more common companies like Activision, as the BioWare, etc.?
No. The company I worked for, which was called StarPlay, was just a small developer and in fact, it wasn't in Southern California, which was weird. It was in Boulder, Colorado. And while I was there, I tried actively because this was back when all the guys kind of knew each other. Like, I knew the Bungie guys before they invented Halo, and I knew Blizzard guys. Wow. I knew Blizzard guys when Warcraft 1 was out. Those guys, and I so wanted to move to California and work for Blizzard, but the Lord picked a different path for me, and so that's the path that I'm on now. So anyway, what else you got, real quick?
Oh yeah, so my dad just suggested I give you a ring because I'm planning on actually going into video game programming myself.
Oh, cool.
Once I save some money and get back in college. So he said, "Oh yeah, try call Mark because he's got some experience."
I mean, it's a fun industry. It's a fun industry, but be prepared. I mean, you will have to go to Southern California.
Oh,
yeah. It is almost every. That's where unless you're really, I mean, you can program anywhere, but if you're trying to get into game development, Southern California where it's at. So that's what I recommend.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right, man. Hey, you have a good rest of your afternoon.
You too.
All right, let's jump over to another Minnesota. Let's see if this one picks up. Minnesota, 651 area code. You're on with Strange World.
Hello, Mark. Wesley, stay flattered. Please talk. Wait for it. Go.
Sweet God. Oh, Wes. Okay, so your son calls in first, and then you call in. It's like that.
I know how.
It's like the tag team from hell, is what that is.
Yeah. I just I told him he had to rib you, but I had a whole spiel I was trying to get him to say, and he's like, no. That's lame.
The quote is, "The truth can walk around naked, the lie has to be clothed," and that is actually a Yiddish proverb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I'm coming through clearly, because I basically got myself a number through Google Hangouts, and now I could actually get picked up by you. However, when I called in earlier, which was at the beginning of the show, I called in, and I got disconnected by the user, by you. I don't know if you booped.
I wonder what happened there. I'm not sure. Could you have been on hold for an hour, and then when you didn't pick up as my first call, you had to be punished? You had to be disciplined? Yes, I do think that was probably the case.
That could not been, because your first caller was on right after he got off. Boom.
No. Look, I have a witness. I have a credible subject matter witness who will testify that our very first caller did not pick up after being on hold for an hour.
That is correct. I can verify.
Really?
Yep. That was you. I don't know where you were. Maybe you were getting
I didn't listen. Never moved.
A sandwich.
I never moved. I
swear. You were smoking, or you had the mute button on. And anyway, so yeah. In fact, in Peanut Gallery, Peanut Gallery is saying emphatically, yes, West Stace needed to be disciplined, and so.
Okay. I'll take my punishment.
All right.
Anyhow,
you love it.
Nice to meet you, Jack. Just Jack. I'm sorry. Just Jack.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
What do you think you're a space cowboy or something? I very rarely get to did my Jack Nicholson impression, but so I was going to ask you if you have a YouTube channel, and if so, would you be willing to upload your little PowerPoint for some people out there to
I don't think it's a
use
PowerPoint.
as a catalyst?
It's 12 slides.
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually trying to revamp because, my YouTube channel used to be about other subjects, but now, of course, I have to include Flat Earth.
Okay.
So I'm going to create a new channel, and I will call Mark and let him know what it is on one of his shows, and then everybody can find it. But I also will send it's not really a slideshow. It's just a bunch of, little pictures that I have in my phone, and I'll send it to Mark and anybody who requests the 12 evidence, the 12 proofs, whatever you want to call it, and he can share it with you.
Apparently these were tested in a lab and have been determined to be the most lethal of all the flat Earth combinations that we have going.
I would agree with that. Yeah. There were some things I've had to edit out, but
sorry. Go ahead, Wes.
Sorry.
Yeah, I said I'll have to kiss Mark's ass for the next couple of weeks.
No.
And of course they were wearing lab coats at the time, correct?
Exactly, they were wearing lab coats.
And just to let you know,
right.
when I do have my website, my videos up, it will include my passion of disputing religion versus scripture.
Good.
Great.
Hey,
well, you know what?
Okay,
I'll be real quick.
90 seconds, Wes. I'll give you 90 seconds. What do you got?
All right. Like I always do. Hey, I need to get a hold of you, get you on my show. Hey, that's all I have to say about that. Flat Earth News Talk.
All right. Take care.
All right. Have a good one, mate.
All right. See you, Wes.
Bye.
Hey, Mark.
What?
My wife just stopped in, and I just wanted her to say hi. Say hi, Mark.
Okay.
Why are you going to put me on the spot like that? Sorry. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I am excellent.
So
my wife, Carolyn.
The relationship you're in, is it pretty stable, you think?
15 years, I'd say so. It's about as stable as the Earth is flat.
Yeah, it's fine. I had to take a shot.
My backup.
What? I don't get out that much, and so your wife has a lovely voice.
Thank you.
Very welcome. All right. I think we've had enough of our awkward pause. All right, get back on.
All right, I'm here.
Okay.
She was on with me. I could hear. I was there.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to our final break, and then we will try to pick up New York, another New York, California, another California, and anyone else that wants to call in. And we are speaking with Jack, AutoCAD Tech, working on engineering projects, and away we go with the music.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are DFR, your protection from deception.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. Earlier in the show, we had a 3-hour Justin Bieber whine-a-thon, followed by Taylor Swift, Hour of Power. But just then, yeah, that was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album, Night and Day. We are doing a subject matter show with Jack, AutoCAD technician from South Carolina, devout flat earther, and part-time chess master. Are you there, Jack?
I am here.
Cool.
I made sure.
Awesome. Okay, so we're picking up a few phone calls. Let's go straight to it, shall we? Let's go to, you know what, before we pick up, because we're going to pick up New York. Everybody knows who's that one's probably going to be. Yeah, I didn't even address this, and I probably should, because I know it's important to you, and that is the biblical side. Let's spend just a couple minutes on that, and that is, you're familiar with all the big guys in the movement, Robbie Davidson, Rob Skiba, Zen Garcia, and so on and so on?
Yes, I am. I'm
Perfect.
very familiar with them. Yeah, I share a lot of their views. I wouldn't say all of them, but I'm very much into a different kind of a belief system that's based solely on scripture and not on man-made interpretation and religious practices. So, like, for instance, if anybody has ever done any research on the truth about Christmas and Easter, you'll see it has nothing to do with scripture. And so that started me on my journey. The other thing that I'm very adamant about is that everybody calls the creator God, and God is a deity of Babylon. That God actually means prosperity. So, which really makes sense about the dollar bill. It says, "In God we trust." And wouldn't you know that the Catholic religion chose the best deity to head up their religion to be of prosperity? And what is the richest religion on the planet? That would be Catholicism.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, and that's just a snippet. I mean, I have a lot of information, but you don't have enough show.
That's all right. I just wanted to make sure that people knew where you were coming from, and
yeah, I was actually about to become a pastor in 2012. Yeah. And the pastor basically asked us, and I'm going to use his words, not mine, but he said, "I want you to do a 21-day fast to see what God would have for you to do this year." And now I have learned a little bit better. Fasting is not just taking out pizza or taking out TV or taking out chocolate. Fasting means actually, dedicating yourself by night eating. But I chose the hardest one on the list, which was a Daniel fast, which I would call now a Daniel diet, more like it's kind of like vegan. And during those 21 days, I was praying, to help me to do what he wanted me to do. And he said, I didn't audibly hear it, but I kept hearing, like, "How are you going to do what I want you to do if you don't know who I am?" And in my current theology belief, I thought that was Satan trying to trick me, saying that I don't know who my God is. But into further inspection, I found out that I really did not know who he was, because I was basing my belief systems on all of the religions that I had been a part of. So yeah, that's some of the interesting stuff that'll be on the YouTube site when I get it up. But, okay. As far as when you hear about flat Earth, it just makes perfect sense. I'm actually I'm trying to do a literal interpretation of Genesis right now, and it's very difficult because you try very hard to keep your preconceived ideas out. Right. And just translate it for what it says word for word. And it sounds like very broken English, but it's a lot more revealing about what the word says rather than what they tell you it says.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Again, want to make sure, because you and I did a little pre-interview, and I knew that's where you were from, and I didn't want to neglect that side.
Yes, it's a very important part of my life.
Got it. It sounds like it. All right, let's jump right over to, well, here we go. You ready? Start spreading the news. We're leaving. Oh, wait. We're leaving today because it's us. It's not just me. It's Jack and I. We're both leaving today. Just Jack.
Just Jack. Hello, just Jack. How you doing?
Hey, how are you, Mark?
Not too bad. Hanging in there. Oh, do you? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I know
That's
everybody.
crazy.
It's just I've never talked to him before.
Cool. Well, you got to come on our Hangouts and talk to us. I'm enjoying what you're talking about. I was very excited about the stuff about the horizon and everything. Oh, yeah. Hey, I just wanted to touch on the movies like you were talking about. I think the remakes are more for indoctrination to get us, the parents and that generation, to get their kids to watch the same crap, believe the same crap, and just do it all over again. And then they'll feed their kids the same crappy movies again. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I got something to go along with that.
Yeah.
Recently, they've done a remake of a show that I enjoyed as a child, and I thought my children are homeschooled. They have very high morals, and I thought this is going to be a good program for them to watch, and I watched it with them, and they have completely shoved so much agenda in the remake. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Anna Green Gables.
No.
Okay, it's an old book, and it was about a girl who was an orphan, and she grew. She accidentally got adopted, and the people didn't want her, but because of all of her love for literature and stuff, she turned their hearts to her. But anyway, they've turned it into a completely agenda-ridden program on Netflix. It's called Anne with an E, and it's just like the first season is great. You get hooked, and then in the second season, that's when they start throwing agenda at you. And I mean, even including the teacher coming in with a globe. I mean, it just
it's everywhere
with agenda.
everywhere.
Yeah. But I mean, the globe was the least of my
Everywhere.
concerns in this video. It was bad.
Wow. Hey, Mark, real quick.
Oh,
I
go
have a quote for you from the Peanut Gallery. And I like this one because it plays into something that's really bugged me for a number of years, which is you'll never be as lazy as whoever named the fireplace. And that's perfect because we take so many words at face value. And literally up until tonight, until Peanut Gallery sent me that, I'd never, ever broken down fireplace into 2 words. The fireplace, of course. It's awesome.
That's hysterical.
Almost as good
I have a lame
what do you got?
quote. Oh, go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
have a lame quote for Just Jack.
All right.
Not a fun application when you don't know where your mouse is.
Yeah.
AutoCAD. Hey, it's the best. It's the best I could come up. There's not a lot of AutoCAD humor out there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's really difficult without a mouse, and I've had to use it before. I've had to use a touchpad laptop, and it's insane.
Nice. I can imagine. Hey, I have a real question, and first I want to make sure, are you wearing your lab coat? Because I have to ask you a question about
Mark or Jack?
Horizon.
Who you admit? Who?
No, I'm sorry, Jack. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, I have my laptop.
Just Jack.
Yeah, lab coat. Sure.
Sorry. I know Mark has
my
his
lab
on.
coat.
He's always
My
had
lab
his
coat's all white. It's all white.
on. Good.
You can go ahead. It's all white.
I was going through my 2015 summer photos, the summer of Flat Earth Clues, and looking at the photos of me at the beach, and looked at the moon pictures I was taking and horizon pictures, and I noticed one that I had taken from the golf course that we were on, the mini golf course, that was about 1.5 miles away from the shore, and I had taken just a scene, but I could see through the buildings to the horizon to the water. And it appears as though the water is coming up from the ground, right?
Right.
And what I'm asking is that can only occur on a flat surface. It cannot occur on a sphere. And I don't remember the word you used for horizon. I was going to say event horizon.
I call it a visible tangent horizon.
Tangent horizon.
Yes.
Thank you. And I just want to understand that more, because I really, the curvature thing is what hooked me. That's what absolutely what was.
And the curvature thing is still what I'm talking about. Yeah, the curvature thing is still what I'm talking about. It's just when for me, like in AutoCAD, like to just say horizon, you could just say, well, it's that line that we see off in the distance. But what we're really talking about is a mathematical horizon on the shape of the ball. So it actually has to do with the eyesight to the tangent of the ball. So if you're looking, especially if you're standing on a beach, right, you're at 0 sea level, and then you take your eye height, which is, in my case, 5 foot 10.5 inches, and then you draw a tangent to around this ball, with the measurements that they give you, and that will give you your visible tangent horizon. It has nothing to do with how far you can see literally, because of course we know about atmospheric refraction and, all the different visual anomalies that we have looking over water. But you cannot argue, again, they love their math. So I'm using their math against them by saying it's the visible tangent horizon.
That's what I love.
Yeah. Because, they understand words like tangent. You're talking about, trigonometry. You're talking about math. You're not talking about what we can see, because obviously we can change our vision with optics.
Right. And I have one more quick question, and I'm not sure how to even ask this, but is there a certain arc or degree of the arc in the sphere that is related to the sphere no matter what size it is? Like, does a ball have the same arc, a tennis ball versus the earth versus a basketball? Because I was always trying to understand that also.
Yeah, so of
how
course
do you calculate that?
Everything is about the radius, to circumference, right? So yeah,
Okay.
if the larger the radius, the longer the tangent's going to be, because you can pull the line out further and further. But it's like when I hear about people talking about the planes at 30,000 feet and they got to dip their nose every so often, they're figuring in the same dimensions as the Earth, wherein at 30,000 feet, it's a much bigger ball, so it would be even worse of an extreme tilt. You'd have to, because now you have a bigger radius to get around, which means that the plane would have to fly faster than they say it does to get the distance and everything else, because it's a longer distance when you do the arc geometry. It's so much bigger, because you have you got your ball dimension, and then you have the additional 30,000 feet that makes that arc additional 30,000 feet larger in radius. It's crazy bigger. And I've not heard anybody mention this, but this was something that's been boggling my mind. It's like, look, you guys are doing great at the whole tip in your nose thing, but it's even worse than that, because they have to travel so much farther, because the higher up on the ball you go, the further distance you have to cover.
Yeah, good point.
Right. And that totally makes sense. Awesome.
And I think I'm going to make a video for that too, because now I can't leave it alone. I have to do it visually, so you can see it.
Sometime I need to pick your brain, like you said. We don't have enough show tonight to do this. Oh man,
well,
we gotta pick your brain.
Anybody can go on that South Carolina contact list, for the meetup, the South Carolina meetup, and you can use my email and email me, ask me questions, whatever.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right. Any parting words?
Thank you. Just keep up the good work. I'm glad you're here to help out, Jack. And thank you as always, Mark, for having me, allowing me to call and ramble on and be long-winded.
Hey, you know what? I think
I love it.
Hey, I'm required by FCC regulations, so it's okay.
You're a great co-star, Mark.
Well, also,
nice.
That's awesome. Nice. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I love it. And shout out to everybody. I miss you all. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's jump right on down. We've got 12 minutes till the end of the show. Time flies when you're, talking to people you don't want to. Let's go over to Westchester, New York, 914 area code. What you got?
Hey, Mark, how you doing? It's Chris over here.
I know who you are. It's YouTube channel CC. You've got really
yes,
you've got really great hair for your age, and because of that, I already dislike you. So just wanted to get that out of the way.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, beautiful. Let me just put this out right now. I mean, the Zulu One, Mark out there in New York, brought up really excellent topics out there. And Jack, I thank you for being here with Mark right now. I bumped into a couple of surveillance operatives, out in the street. And here in New York, there was we're talking back in the Ice Age here, about 10,000 years ago. And they claim because of the Ice Age were these mile-high ice walls that were coming down, that pretty much formed the Palisades and formed the Hudson River. That's why they were out there. And they say, they told me that the ground itself was being pushed down for so many tens of thousands of years. Now it's being pushed up. So they have to go out there with these, tripods and these microscopes and these, laser lights and all this other crap. And they have to take and adjust for this nonsense that happened over all of these years. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. Don't get me wrong. It probably did. I'm sure we had an ice age that, whatever. I don't want to get into it. Different story. But I mean, they're telling me this stuff when I'm talking to them. And I can't get them on videotape because they don't want to have anything to do with it. They've got their job. They're working for Con Ed or they're working for whatever union that they're working for. And I respect that. So I'm not going to get in the middle of it. But I mean, is this something that's actually true? I mean, what are these land surveyors? Do you know anything about that?
I don't, but it sounds like a load of crap to me.
Yeah,
But
no, it really does.
That's my own personal view. Because, I mean, a lot of things that can be explained with the Ice Age can also be explained by a worldwide flood. But, we don't want to get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, which is all nonsense. So, and then now I'm looking at, because the only thing that I can actually watch on TV right now, or even have in the background when I'm cleaning up and organizing my family for tomorrow, is the Weather Channel. And now what the Weather Channel is starting to do is now what they are is they're actually curving the earth right now, but they're not taking in the clouds. They've got this little curved earth over here right now, and now the clouds are just kind of just going right over the plane as flat as can be, and it just looks so abnormal. The fisheye lens, great luck. Google,
Yeah.
I love them.
Crazy.
Wow. Amazing. Anything else you got?
I just wanted to add that in there.
Cool.
Mark, thank you for having me on here. I just wanted to say hi.
Hey, nice to see you. And if you break any combs while you're trying to run them through your hair, don't tell me about it because I'll probably just weep openly.
Oh,
okay?
come on, don't bust me on that. Hey, look, it's generic, all right? It's all gray now. I mean, come on. All right, thanks for
All right,
having me
man.
on,
Have a good
Mark,
one.
all right?
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, you too.
All right, let's see if we can get through two more. I think we can get through two more. Let's go all the way over to the other side of the country. Let's go El Segundo, California. Are you there, 310? Oh, come on, California. Take off that mute button. Don't make me say it. I will say it. I'll give you 5 seconds, and I'm just going to throw that line at you. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. It's a rookie mistake. And you hate to see it. Yeah, fine. That's fine. You know what? I'm just going to put you on mute. I'm going to go all the way back over. We're going to play tennis. We're going to go all the way back to New York. And we're going to go to 516 area code. What's going on? New York, can you save the day at the end of the show?
I will try.
Do it. What do you got?
All right. Just want to say that I heard you on Coast to Coast originally. Cool. And I thought it sounded crazy. I heard your whole spiel, and I just didn't buy it. So I told my little brother, and I said, go research this and come back to me. Let me know what you think. So I figured he would come back with nothing. And he goes, oh, this is great stuff. He goes, you just got to listen to it. So I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And he totally changed me. I mean, after listening to this, I just couldn't believe it. So right now I got him. I got my 76-year-old father who's totally into it, the guy who made us watch Star Trek eating dinner every night, and now he's hooked on it. So this is good stuff.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking about going to this Times Square meetup in New York.
Right on.
And, can I wear the lab coat?
Absolutely,
is that,
you can wear the lab coat.
There's trend. Everybody wears the lab coat.
Yeah. It's not like wearing a fireman's outfit or a police outfit. Anyone can wear a lab coat.
I think everyone should buy a lab smock from Flat Earth from now on, and we should just put like the AE map over the pocket, and let's just do it up. Let's just finish this.
Yeah, they cost about $15, and it kills me. There's two women I know who have spent more monogramming it than the actual coat costs. So you guys, ladies, are killing me. But yeah, definitely go to Times Square. And by the way, where are you from? I have not heard an accent in New York like this in some time. Where are you from?
It's Long Island.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah. So everybody, it's Long Island, but it's got a little different accent than these Westchester and these Middletown guys.
That's great. I love it. It is so authentic. It's brilliant. So
Yeah, we
I
can't
also
fight it.
I also love the fact that you sent out your little brother to find out. Hey, go
Yeah, that
find
was
out about flat Earth. Let me know. It's like, what? Did you
Well,
really?
I mean, I'm saying little brother, but he's not that young. We're talking in the 40s, so
Even better. What is
yeah,
he
but
just-
you're
he's just
like,
gonna-
hey, I don't want to look into this myself, but please go look into it for me, please.
When can you find out about this? It's like
It's always a crazy idea until you look into it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Once I think I heard
go ahead.
the eclipse from last year. It just never made sense to me. I'm expecting. I know the size of the moon or general size of the moon, so I'm expecting the eclipse to cover most of the United States, and it didn't, and I couldn't understand it. And I think it was clear where it was, so I was kind of let down, and that kind of cemented some of the things for me.
Nice. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, the Coast to Coast interview, was that the George Norrie one or the other one that I did with?
Yes.
Yeah,
That was George Norrie. Yes.
Go figure. They reached out to me. I didn't even have to call him, and he was so nice. The only rule is that I couldn't attack Apollo. I couldn't attack the moon landing. He said it on air. You probably heard it, where he was like, "Just so you know, I believe completely in the Apollo program," which was his warning to me. And like, if I want to stay for the duration of the show, I can't go after Apollo. It's like, all right, I've got all sorts of other bullets in my gun, so that's what we did, and it worked out. So that's awesome, and I'm glad your brother. So your brother got hooked on it first, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
So now, I got my son. He's always listening, and he won't say anything, but he finds it quite interesting.
Nice. How old's your son, if you don't mind me asking?
About 14.
Oh, but perfect. You know who you should look to. Have your son. I bet you he's old enough to know who he is. Look up a guy on YouTube called Shane, Shane. Apparently, anyone from 12 to 17 knows who this kid is. He's on, and he did a flat Earth.
That Shane Dawson?
Yeah, Shane Dawson. He, wow, I'm starting to talk.
Okay.
I heard that.
I know, right? I'm starting to slip into it. The Shane Dawson, he did a flat Earth video recently, and it got like 15 million hits in 2 weeks. And in fact, I'm going down to meet those guys in about 10 days down in California. And so, yeah, have your son watch that guy.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, man. I have to say goodbye because I'm gonna wrap up the show. But call in another time. I'm on every Tuesdays.
Will do if I can stay up that late.
Okay. Have a good one. All right.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye.
All right. I'm gonna pick up California just to make sure he's there so I can scold him because I want to end the show. All right. 310. Are you there, or am I just gonna put you back on mute? All right, you suck, Alex. I can see you in the caller ID. I know who you are. Swear to God. Oh, wait, was that him? Alex?
It wasn't me.
Oh, sorry.
Well, what the heck, man? I already hung up on you twice. Okay, you got 60 seconds. Go. Alex?
Yeah, just calling in to listen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll put you back on mute. Don't worry. Are you gonna be at the?
Go for it.
Hey, are you gonna be at the Pasadena meetup?
Absolutely.
Right on. All right. I will see you there. Okay. And I think I have one more show.
All right,
before.
right on. See you.
Yeah, I think I have one more show. Yeah, before next week. So before I go. Okay. In fact, let me do the schedule real quick. Next week is the 31st. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do one more show and then I fly out. That's on a Tuesday, and then I fly out on Thursday morning. So there you go. So we've got a minute, you and I, just Jack. And we've been speaking with Jack, AutoCAD tech from South Carolina, and a flat earther, and his wife's a flat earther, and everybody knows. And he's been flat smacking people. And he's got 12 slides apparently that can convert everybody in a short amount of time. So he's going to send those to me, hopefully in the order that he presents them, because I'd love to, see what secret magic spell he's got for those. Thank you very much for coming on, Jack. Thanks for reaching out and coming on at short notice.
No problem. I got closing words. I want everybody to be bold. This is important. Let's get the word out.
Right on. Absolutely. Hey, heck, the Flat Earth War is going, as Teddy Roosevelt called the Spanish-American War, he called it a fine little war. And that's what I'm calling Flat Earth. It's a fine little war because science is having such a hard time dealing with us. We're just running around their flanks at speed, and I'm enjoying them scrambling, trying to do anything. That's it, guys. I will be here next week, same flat time, same flat channel. Cue music, and Jack, stay on with me. Because as soon as we're done with this, we'll talk for a minute or two, okay?
All right.
All right.
That's a great honor